Good morning. You can't start without it already. No, start. Listen.
Uh-huh.
Let's focus. Let's
Okay.
focus.
Focus.
So, how are you? We've not done a show together,
I know. I'm excited.
Kenny. I
I'm
keep
very
hearing about
excited.
how we should, and here it is. It's happening.
Yeah. I'm excited.
How you
I'm
feeling
excited.
about that?
Oh, I'm excited. I am
Are you?
excited. I am. I've been waiting for this for
I
for
I hope it
years.
lives up to your expectation. Oh, years! Wow, even before you met me. Wow, wow. Okay, that's. I can't. I don't know if I can. I don't. I think I'm gonna have to fail living up to this because I didn't even exist before that. So it can't go right, can it? So
Yeah.
it is February 7th,
Mm-hmm.
2026, which is so crazy. Like we're already into February. Super Bowl's already happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Would you?
and where did I ever? I don't think I ever found out where do you live or where's your general area?
I am in New London, Connecticut.
Okay, so are you getting the snow
Yes.
that we're getting? Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yes. Yep.
yeah,
Again.
we're getting more snow today. It's like
Yep.
nuts. I like snow, but I think this is a ridiculous amount, and I think I'm
Yes.
done.
Yeah, me too. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of
So
shoveling, snowblowing. I'm tired
yep,
of it.
I'll be out there in an hour or two with the shovel
Me too.
again.
Me. I get.
So
Yeah, me too. Again.
I have to because it's gonna drop down to some ridiculous temperature tonight, and if we do not move the snow, it becomes ice, and there's a whole other thing going on. So it's just like you got to go out there and clear it
Yep.
before it becomes whatever -1 or 0. I don't know what it is. We're gonna get some low temps tonight, so
Yeah.
it's annoying.
It is.
But
Truly.
so Kenny, tell me all about your life. What's happening this weekend for you? Anything exciting? No? Yes?
Nothing. Super Bowl Sunday. I can't wait.
Yeah?
I'm.
Yeah?
I'm in it for the food. I'm in it for the food. I'm in it for the food. I'm in it for the wings, the pizza,
I think
the
everybody's in it
nacho
for the food.
dip,
Yeah. Yeah.
the nacho dip.
Are you
You
rooting
know.
for any team specifically? Or no? Some
Oh, I'm,
people
root-
don't really care and they just want to watch the game.
oh, I'm, root- oh, I'm rooting for the Patriots. Of course, I'm rooting for the Patriots.
Okay.
Rooting for the Patriots. Born and
Yes,
raised in
that's
Boston, Massachusetts.
yep. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. You're a Boston boy.
Yep.
Baston.
So we do.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice, nice.
Boston.
So yeah,
Pack, pack.
we we're in Rhode Island, so it's like we're like this weird apartment next door duplex thing going on with Boston. So like Boston's technically our area, even though it's not really where we live. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
just we sit on the coattails of Boston. So anytime Boston's in any kind of playoff game, we're into it. Most of the time. I don't know about everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
we're New Englanders, so that's what we do.
So we
Wings,
do.
pizza. Ron's got wings, pizza. Did he say cheesecake? That went away too fast.
That is all. Is that all in one
Cheesecake and nachos.
cheesecake?
Nice.
Cheesecake nachos? I don't know how available.
I don't know. There probably are that there's so many weird fusion foods out there that cheesecake nachos would not surprise me.
Me
That's
neither.
probably something somebody did somewhere, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Chicken tenders, pretzel bites, drinks. Okay, so yeah, so it's coming up on Super Bowl. Get your stuff together, and if you're in Rhode Island, go out, or in New England, go out quickly and get your food because I would hope
Yep.
everybody did by now. But it's already been nasty on the roads. I got up this morning. There's like a bunch of accidents on 95, and nobody's everybody's not doing well out there on the roads. So yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, Kenny, do you have let's see, what do we got for you? We got our little list of things that we're doing today, and you have something
Mhm.
called is it a few good news stories that you have for us today?
Yeah, I got a few good news stories I got. You want to start with
Yeah.
those? You want to start with those?
Okay.
We can start with those. Let's see here. Lois Jerkson was 93 years old, and she almost considered selling her weathered crock pot at a garage sale. She's had this crock pot on her porch for 40 years.
On her porch?
Yeah. for 40
Wow.
years. She
Okay.
thought about, she thought about selling it at a garage sale between $50 to $100. This is a
Hmm.
30-gallon Red Wing stoneware crock pot. The
Wow.
the auction house contacted her, told her she should sell it at auction, and they auctioned it off for $32,000. Good.
Okay. I've never even heard of that brand. That's crazy.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
And
Imagine.
it sold for her 91st birthday. So congratulations to her.
Yeah. Man, she should
Right?
have. I don't know. I wonder if she would have sold it sooner. She could have spent it, or she could have, at
Just spent
91.
it. 31.
Well, that's. I
Right?
mean,
Yeah.
it's good for retirement. I guess it's good to make sure you got a little nest egg. So that's nice. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know anything about
Crazy,
the
right?
crock pot business, and in different brands of crock pots, and what's that's obviously a classic that nobody has anymore. I guess.
I guess so.
That's I don't know. That's just news to me. So today I'm gonna go look at crockpot history because
Back
that's
history.
amazing. What a crock!
40 is sitting there for 40 years. She just not realized. Wow, 40
That
years.
there's a lot of stories like that where just somebody's got some crazy thing sitting around and they're like, "What do I do with this? I'm sick of it. What do I do? Do I
Mm-hmm.
throw it out? Do I get rid of it? You know?" And then it turns out to be a good chunk of money. So
Good chunk of money.
lucky for her. Somebody else would have gotten that money at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But
True story.
wow.
True story. True story. And the other good news is congratulations to Tyron Smith. She is a 25-year-old human resource manager and yoga instructor from Nebraska who completed the world's toughest row last Thursday, finishing the 3,000-mile journey in a rowboat. Mm-hmm.
Did it say like where she was rowing from and to or anything like that? Is it some
Yep,
kind of contest? Okay.
from San Sebastian de la Guama, Spain,
Hmm.
to Antigua in 46 days, 3 hours, and 37 minutes.
Now that is a definite. You're gonna need a definite like 3 days to stretch after something like that.
Exactly, exactly. The crazy part is, before this, she's never been in a rowboat.
Okay, that's weird
That's
because that's
weird.
something you think you would need to train for.
Exactly, exactly. Oh, she did train for it.
Okay.
She trained 10 to 12 hours daily and slept 6 to 7 hours throughout the journey, surviving freeze-dried meals, surviving on freeze-dried meals and snacks she packed before the departure. Where is it? She encountered 30-foot waves and sent her boat surfing across the ocean, moments she described as both exhilarating and terrifying. She spotted sharks on the first day, but she said the marlins are the greatest threat because they strike boats and pierce holes through the
Oh, wow,
boats.
that's something I didn't know. So she was
Yeah,
probably using a row machine then, I guess,
probably, probably,
to train. That's
probably,
crazy.
probably.
Well, now,
Good for
what
her.
would cause somebody to suddenly say, I think I need to go and just row a boat from here to here and like see if I can do it? Is it did you say Guinness at the beginning?
Yep.
Okay, so some
Yep.
people do.
Yep.
They look at Guinness and they're like, "All right, how can I get in here?"
Yep.
So that must have been something she went, "Pff, I could do that. I can top
Mm,
that."
I can
That's
top that in a
crazy. That's a good workout. That's all I got to say about that. That
for
is a good
46 days.
workout.
For 46 days, let's see I can do it.
I
Mm,
mean, yeah,
I don't know
I think
about that.
having a Guinness is probably way easier. It's a better idea than trying
Yeah,
to get into Guinness. But some people don't think so. Some people think
some people think.
that's something I think I want to do, and that's something I think I can top. And God bless those people that I don't know that say that
Yeah.
that's going to be their mission. That's crazy. I
No.
forgot to mention this is Black Women in History Week, and we are wrapping that up. You started the week, Kenny, and now you're ending the week. How do you feel about this?
This is great. I'm so excited today. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm just excited. Like just
Kenny is excited today. This is like Saturday. It's just it's not a day he's normally on, and he's just raring to go. Raring to go. All right, so we're gonna start with a list of where you can find us. You're watching us right now on you're watching us right now on Kick, YouTube, Rumble. That's at Rhode Island Broadcasting. You can be watching us on Twitch at RI_broadcasting. And you could be watching us on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it at Broadcasting RI. You are listening to us on Spotify, Red Circle, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Haha, I see the logo got in there. At RI Broadcasting. Look at that. You can catch our social media. We are on MeWe, TikTok, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Parlor, Space Hey. Space Hi. And Gab at RI Broadcasting. Once again, Twitter and X at Broadcasting RI. Of course, you can turn us on in the videos there, but you can also listen to us if you don't want to look at us. I can't understand why you would not want to do that, but it's another story. We're also at Patreon at RI Broadcasting. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I make sure that I give you the RI Broadcasting for the social media? Yes. Patreon at RI Broadcasting. And then we are on Facebook at Going On Daily Morning Show, which we need you to share and like and share and like and share and like. We need to build up the audience again because we got zucked. We got zucked somehow or other. We had something like 10,000 people on that page, and it went bye-bye mysteriously. So we need to build that back up again. And then we've got our website at RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. And my list is over here, so let me make sure I get that pulled up. Okay, so on our website, we want you to vote. Last month, Mary Poppins is what won for Best 60s Movie.
Oh.
And I think from what I'm understanding, from what I heard, it got it won in the clutch, and that it was not winning the entire month. And then Ron added an extra day or didn't close the voting out for one day. And
he cheated me! He cheated me!
It came in from underneath and won, which is pretty cool. And then, so Mary Poppins at 36%. So this month, you're going to vote for the best drama series. That's your QR code right there. That big, fat, white code between the two of us. You can't miss it. Click on that to get right to the website, get right to the list to vote. And Twin Peaks, X-Files, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Oz, and ER. These are the shows you can vote on. And what is the best one? We shall see, right? Because it's pretty early in the month, so we do not know, but we shall see.
I'm voting right now.
Are you voting right now? I don't know what I want yet. There's a couple of them that I like, and I'm not sure. I feel like I'm leaning towards the X-Files. I have always had, and people that know me know this, a very huge crush on Dave Duchovny for lots of reasons.
That's the guy. That's the guy right there.
Yeah. That's the guy right there. You know, there's a big history on him. He was a Yale student and was in the middle of a dissertation and decided, I think I want to act. I don't know if he ever finished his dissertation, but he's a pretty intelligent guy, so that's an attractive quality to me. I like smart men, nerdy men. That's my thing. And then I'm also a very big Scully fan. I'm absolutely love that character. Californication was really good, but for 2 seconds I thought California was what you were going to say, which was also good. That's a good David Duchovny movie. If you've ever seen California, it's more of a Brad Pitt movie, but David Duchovny is one of the characters in that movie. And I love Gillian Anderson because she created like a STEM frenzy when she was on, meaning women that would just wanted to go into science and technology and all that kind of stuff based on her character. And I thought that was really cool. Right. I don't know. I've heard the two of them really didn't get along a lot either. They do. I guess they eventually did get along, and they became really good friends. But for I guess at the beginning of the show, they were not uh, feeling each other there for a little while. But they do an amazing job at acting, and they look. Um, they just had a really good chemistry. So anyway, long story short, I think I'm leaning towards the X-Files, but that's not why we're here today. That's not why we're here today. You vote for whichever your famous is, right? So, okay, I have a segment called Then and Now.
I'm excited.
And this is about Black women in history that I specifically, I don't know, idolize or just love based on their stories. One of my favorite people, I love people who kind of stand, I mean, they're obviously, I want people who are out there in the fight of whether it's civil rights, women's rights, or just, trying to make and create history and promote progression and galvanization and all that kind of stuff. But there's also people who really want to make sure that nobody forgets what's happening, because in the midst of everything that goes on, there's always chaos and people lose information and history. So one of my favorite people is Ida B. Wells. So her life's one of the clearest examples of like how courage, intellect, and persistence can reshape a nation's conscience. Right? She was born into slavery in 1862 near Holly Springs, Mississippi. She entered the world at a moment when the United States was still fractured by the Civil War. Emancipation came before she was old enough to remember bondage personally. So when she was young and when she was in slavery, she didn't remember much of it. But of course, she was so close to it that I'm quite sure she heard a lot of stories about it.
Yeah.
The legacy of slavery shaped her upbringing. Her parents, James and Elizabeth Wells, they ensured that their children understood both the cruelty that their people had endured and the importance of the education as a path forward. And that early emphasis on literacy and learning would become the foundation of her lifelong pursuit or her work. Tragedy struck early in 1878. Ida was just 16, and a yellow fever epidemic claimed the lives of her parents. When you're a kid, and it's so funny. As I'm going through history as an older person, I really that's pretty cool. Short film on our channel by 1031 Studios that features her. Unalienable is that what it's called? Okay, there's my sister. There's my sister.
Oh.
Hi, Sissy. Good morning.
Hello.
So I think about, as I get older, I think about like I can actually, in a way, imagine what is it like to be 16 and be going through everything that's happening at that time, and then your parents are both, or yellow fever comes, your parents are both gone, and you're 16. That's rough. You know what I mean? So her siblings and her were orphaned at that point. Rather than allow her family to be separated, she made the extraordinary decision to become head of the household, which at that time, you have to go back and look in history. But at that time, that was a not an easy thing to do in the 1800s. So she took a teaching job. She continued her education, and she shouldered domestic responsibilities in the house beyond her years. The period forged a resilience that would later define her public life. And I have to put this is in my way here. Okay. And so I have to make sure that I keep track of where I'm at, because I'm looking at this screen, looking at that screen. So even as loss continued with the deaths of her grandmother and her sister, she pressed forward, eventually relocating to Memphis, which there's a historical place right there, where she balanced teaching with a growing interest in writing. So the social climate of the 1880s was deeply hostile to Black Americans. Of course, the Jim Crow system of laws and customs was tightening its grip, enforcing segregation and normalizing racial intimidation. In 1884, she personally confronted this injustice when she purchased a first-class train ticket, but was ordered to move from the woman's car because she was African American. She refused, which was forcibly removed. After refusing, and initially she won a lawsuit against the railroad. So There are several people who did not give up their seats on cars, although Rosa Parks was a very big person in history. She was not the only one, and she was not the first one. So she saw this. She did see the decision overturned on an appeal, which is a bummer, right? The incident was more than a personal affront; it was a turning point that sharpened her awareness of systemic discrimination and the limits of legal victory in a biased system, right? The system is always the problem. After losing her teaching position for criticizing school conditions, that's why I love her, because she goes in and she's like, I don't like this. What is going on here? Some people don't do that. So she committed herself fully to journalism, right? She became a co-owner and editor of the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight. That's the first Black woman in the United States to hold such a role in journalism, right there. Writing under the pen name Lola, she used her platform to speak directly to the injustice facing Black communities, and her journalism was not passive reporting. It was investigative, confrontational, and unapologetically political. Very big, risky things back at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay. And this is a really serious topic, but here come the dad jokes from Ron.
Oh, yeah. Her name was Lola.
So the defining character of her career began in 1892 when the lynching of her friend Thomas Mass happened. He was a successful Black grocer whose prosperity was threatened from white competitors. And his murder devastated her, galvanized her mission. She began systematically researching lynchings across the United States. This is what she's known for. Her documenting things, making sure people don't forget who these people are, who they were, what they did, what happened. It was so easy for people to go missing at that time and not be known. And so that was part of her thing, right? So she researched lynchings across the United States, uncovering a disturbing pattern. Accusations against Black men were often fabricated and used as pretext for violence. Well, this guy did this, so we had to lynch him, with absolutely no proof or history or anything about what they're saying. Does that sound familiar? Frequently tied to economic rivalry or consensual interracial relationships rather than actual crimes. She concluded that lynching was not random mob fury, but it was a calculated instrument of racial terror designed to maintain white supremacy. Does that sound familiar? Her series of editorials titled Southern Horrors, which is a really cool title for something like that grabbed my attention, exposed these truths to a national audience, and the backlash was swift and violent. Threats poured in, newspaper office was destroyed by a mob, and returning to Memphis became too dangerous. Exile did not silence her. She did not care. It amplified her voice. Relocating primarily to Chicago, she continued her anti-lynching campaign on a national and international scale, earning recognition as one of the most prominent activists of her era. In Chicago, she married fellow journalist and activist Ferdinand Barnett. Their partnership was notable not only for shared political, let me know if you want me to slow down, goals, but also for its mutual support. Ferdinand encouraged Ida's continued public work at a time when married women were typically expected to retreat from professional life. Together, they raised 6 children, and she navigated the demanding intersection of motherhood, journalism, and activism with determination rather than with compromise. And while anti-lynching advocacy remained central to her mission, she understood that political power was essential for a lasting reform. So she became a fierce advocate for women's suffrage, which was intersectional at that time, particularly for Black women whose voices were often marginalized even within the suffrage movement itself. In 1913, she co-founded Chicago's Alpha Suffrage Club, which educated women on civic engagement and promoted Black political candidates. That same year, when organizers of a national suffrage parade attempted to segregate Black participants to the rear, Wells refused. So she stepped into the Illinois delegation alongside white suffragists. My coffee's kicking in. Asserting both racial equality and gender equality in a single symbolic act of defiance. So her activism continued well into the 20th century. She was international exposing the reality of American racial violence,
Mm-hmm.
supported federal anti-lynching legislation, and even pursued public office herself. Through many of her legislative goals, not achieved during her lifetime, but her work laid crucial in groundwork for the civil rights advances that would follow decades later. In my opinion, there was so many things we would not know if she did not put them in print. Period. And so there's a lot of things that she did, but the one thing that I love her for is that she made sure that the way that it was written and the way that it was remembered was not whitewashed or was not changed
Yeah. Yeah.
to make the victim the problem.
Yeah.
So let's see. She died in 1931, but her history has increasingly recognized the magnitude of her contributions. I know a lot of people, as I've been getting older, she's been more coming to the forefront as far as people remembering her. When I was younger, though, she was a story that most people didn't really know a lot about. In 2020, nearly 90 years after her death, she was posthumously, awarded the Pulitzer Prize for her courageous investigative reporting. The honor symbolized more than personal recognition; it acknowledged the enduring power of truth telling in the face of intimidation. Her legacy is not just a journalist or an activist, but a strategist, which is a pretty good term, who understood that social change requires documentation, political engagement, and personal bravery. Wells transformed grief into inquiry, and inquiry into evidence. Is somebody's phone ringing?
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway,
Maybe.
Evidence into advocacy at a time when silence was sacred. She chose exposure. I'm sorry. In an era where conformity was expected, she chose resistance, and her life stands as a reminder that the written word, when backed by conviction and research, that can challenge the entrenched injustice and inspire generations long after the author's voice has fallen silent. And then several people came along and picked up where she left off, and it's just an example of how to be, where not. I mean, it's understanding to be intimidated. It's understanding to be afraid.
Yeah.
But when women like that stand out and say, "No," that's pretty inspiring for me. Anyway, so that's one of my then people. The other one of my then people is Coretta Scott King. I just love her. I love Coretta Scott King so much. Martin Luther King was important. For sure. But I don't ever want to overshadow who Coretta was, because she was amazing by herself,
Preach, sister, preach.
Right. And she's got Boston history. That's why I love her, right?
Yes.
So she was an author. She was a singer. I don't know how many people knew that she was a singer. Yep. That's amazing to me. Maybe it's because of my musical history, but I thought that was so cool. She's one of the most influenced figures of the American civil rights movement, of course. Yeah. Best known as the wife and partner of Martin Luther King Jr. I cannot talk, but she was also a leader and a strategist in her own right. She's often called the first lady of the civil rights movement. And that makes sense, right?
Yeah, she is.
She was born in 1927 in Hellberger, Alabama, into a hardworking family that valued education and self-sufficiency, which is so, I mean, you can actually, if you've ever seen anything that Coretta has done, or if you've ever seen her talking or anything, it's very obvious that she was raised in a family like that. She grew up in the segregated South, experiencing racial discrimination firsthand. Her parents emphasized discipline, faith, and schooling, even during the Great Depression, which, if you know anything about the Great Depression, was very hard for them to maintain, but it was important for them. So that's very cool. Her musical talent came from her mother. Coretta sang, played piano and trumpet, and led school choirs. She graduated valedictorian of her high school in 1945. She's a smart girl. Smart girl, talented girl. She went to Antioch College in Ohio. That's one of the few integrated colleges at that time. And, yep, definitely. The Great Depression is one of the... Anyway, Uh, she studied music and education, and she joined the NAACP campus chapter, civil liberties and race relations committees. She faced discrimination even in the North, including denial of student teaching opportunities due to her race. So these experiences deepened her commitment to civil rights and social justice. She moves to Boston. Here's her Boston story, which is what makes her even cooler. She earned a scholarship to New England Conservatory of Music.
Yep.
And trained professionally in voice and piano, intending a career as a concert singer. That's what she originally wanted to do. And while she was in Boston, she met Martin Luther King. So they met in Boston. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Through mutual friends. Yep. So, they didn't end up staying in Boston, but they kind of met in Boston. Had she not come to Boston, she would not probably be married to him. Would they have even met,
Yeah.
So they met in 1952, and their early dates centered on politics, faith, and racial equality, and not just romance. Like, they got together and they were like two people who kind of had the same, I would say, education and morals and values. And they got married on June 18th, 1953, and notably removed the word obey from her wedding vows. That's my girl. She was like, what? I'm not obeying anybody.
Anyway.
Get that out of there. Progressive for that era. If you think about it, that time in 1953, how crazy that was and what kind of pushback she probably got from it. That's pretty cool. She loved music. She chose to support a shared mission in ministry and activism because of her husband. So she really kind of took a detour for Martin, but she had quite a bit of a history of her own. So Montgomery and the Civil Rights Movement, she moved to Alabama in 1954 when Martin became pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, and soon became deeply involved in the Montgomery bus boycott, which I won't get into history here, but if you know anything about Black history, that's a huge event that between 1955 to 56 that changed some things. But anyway, Coretta used her musical training to raise funds and awareness through freedom concerts, blending art with activism. My favorite. She balanced roles as a mother of 4 children, performer, and a political advocate. And after Martin Luther King was assassinated in 1968, she stepped fully into national leadership, right? She founded the King Center for Nonviolent Social Change. I don't know if you've been to Atlanta and gone through all of her the center of the church and all of that.
Yes, I have.
Very, very cool. If anybody has not done that, you need to go do that.
Very nice.
She was, I think when I went through there, she was still alive at that time. I didn't meet her, but yeah, they were still building up a lot of the center. I think I went through there in, I want to say late 2000s. So anyway, they campaigned tirelessly to establish Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a U.S. federal holiday, achieved in 1983. And I'm going to bring up this. If you ever hear the Stevie Wonder song, Happy Birthday to You, that's what that is. Of
course. Yeah.
That's what that's about. No matter what they try to tell you, that's what that song means.
That's what it means. Yep.
They expanded her advocacy to include women's rights, or she expanded her advocacy to include women's rights, LGBTQ rights, and opposition to apartheid in South Africa, because that was a big thing at that time. Me growing up, that was a big story in the background, was African apartheid. She built relationships with major political figures and remained a global voice for peace and equality, right? And then towards her later years, she did suffer a stroke in 2005 that left her partially paralyzed and unable to speak. And then she died January 30th, 2008 at 78 years old.
Yeah.
Her funeral was attended by multiple U.S. presidents and thousands of mourners.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember that he was assassinated after Kennedy, John Kennedy, and before Robert Kennedy.
Yeah.
But both there's a picture of both of her and I what is going on with me today that I can't think of John F. Kennedy's widow together. So
Jacqueline.
just look. Thank you, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis.
Yes.
At his funeral, where she just was like, I gotta show up and talk to this woman because I know what she's going through. And that
Yeah.
was a big deal. That was a big picture. And so she was buried at the King Center beside her husband. And her legacy and honor: she was the first American woman to lie in state at the Georgia State Capitol. Um, she was inducted into both the Alabama Women's Hall of Fame and the National Women's Hall of Fame. She was remembered as like a bridge between art and activism, and a champion of nonviolent resistance, which of course her husband was also, and a leader who transformed personal tragedy into long-term social change. And the one thing I don't have here was that she was also a very big advocate against the Vietnam War.
Mm.
And there's a whole story behind that. I think
Really?
that she did not. Well, it was like the same thing with being an advocate for what was going on over here. They really couldn't be okay with what was going on over there. It's like, to them, that was the same thing. And she was
Yeah.
very big on the anti-Vietnam movement, and she did a lot of picketing and protesting and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that was an important mission to her at the time. Now, when the war was going on, a lot of people did not like people talking about the Vietnam War in a bad way. That was a problem.
Yeah.
And he gave a speech very close to, I think it was probably in 1967. And for the most part, she asked him to give that speech. And a lot of people turned on him after that, because they were like, well, yeah, okay, it's okay that you're doing this, but stay in your lane. That's none of your business, is what they were telling him. And even some people that supported him did that, which is pretty sad. But anyway, so yeah, she was not only a supportive spouse, but she was a strategist, organizer, visionary whose influence extended decades, right, beyond the 1960s. You can't even think of history without like her being part of that at all. Her life illustrates how cultural talent and education and moral conviction can merge into sustained activism and shaping civil rights history long after the spotlight shifted from her. And it's true to this day. Actually, I follow a page, and there's a bunch of people in her family and probably that worked for her that still put out all these public messages and, put together festivals and whatever they do to keep the community going. So it's pretty cool. Those are my then. I have not gotten into my now yet.
Mm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bring up two women now. One of them is Heather McGhee. I don't know if you've heard of Heather McGhee.
Who is Heather McGhee? Why does that name sound familiar?
So she's an author. She's a nonprofit executive. She was a former president, and she's currently a trustee emeritus of Demos. And so she's like kind of an economist, kind of a historian. She's pretty cool. She wrote a book called The Sum of Us. And I didn't learn about her because of that. I learned about her because if I watch anything political, she'll come in and she'll do she comes in with a lot of stats and historical information that backs up things, and she's almost a sociologist in how understanding like how the US is responding to things. This book that she wrote, The Sum of Us, it's based on the zero-sum theory, if you've heard of it, which is if government tells you that these people over there are going to get something, they try to convince you that you're going to lose something. So there's people in history that don't like minorities to get things because they think the minorities are taking things from them. So that's the zero-sum theory. And in her book, she starts out with the pool situation in the 50s. You remember the public pools?
Yep.
And how, there was a point in time where all these areas, all these communities were getting public pools. I forget how it all started, but they were neighborhood public schools, public pools that were built for people in the summer or whatever. And it became a big thing about Black children swimming in public pools was a thing. And it was to the point where the basically the white adults got so upset about black children swimming in the pools with their children that they wanted the pools shut down. To the point where their own children were upset about it, but they didn't care. Because it was like, if we have to share with them, then we just don't want the thing.
Yeah.
That's basically that's the concept that the book is written on. And how if you walk around now, no matter where you live, if you walk around, you'll see it like a railing here and you're railing there. It's because pools were like filled in. And a lot of times the railings are still there, but the pool's gone, all that kind of stuff. You can still see kind of like that history, but she was explaining that mentality still to this day, like stuff like healthcare and the things that people should want and need, people will vote against because they don't want other people to get it. Yeah. They'll go without it.
Yep.
To make sure if somebody else doesn't get it. It's just like a whole book about that. It's really good. Anyway, so she was born 1980. She's an author, nonprofit executive. She worked for Demos, which is a nonprofit progressive U.S. think tank. She's a regular contributor to like NBC News. Like she comes on and does stuff like Meet the Press and All In with Chris Hayes and Real Time with Bill Maher and that kind of stuff. She'll come on and just she that was what she studied, so they'll kind of throw her in to like make sure they have the correct information on whatever it is that they're talking about, right? She came out of Chicago, Illinois. She went to Yale University and the University of California, Berkeley. And she grew up in Chicago's South Side. She's the daughter of Gail Christopher, Earl McGee. Her father is in the military. And she was enrolled in Bemet School as a boarding student. She graduated from Milton Academy in 1997. I love women who have a lot of education. She received a bachelor's in American Studies from Yale University, and she was initially drawn to theater and creative writing, but she eventually became interested in economic policy. So she can sit you down and talk to you about, here's where the economy was, here's where it's going, here's how people are spending, here's what they need to do. Anything like that is what she studied. And so she attended the UC Berkeley School of Law, and she cited how law school could help give her the credentials to change public policy, and that's why she did it. And and she graduated with a JD in 2009. So her positions are, she taught English in Barcelona for a short time.
Ooh.
After the September 11 attack, she moved to Hollywood to pursue a career in television writing. After about a year, she moved to New York City and she began working with a nonprofit think tank, Demos. 2003, she connected with Elizabeth Warren, more Boston, and her daughter, Amelia Warren, tie on the topic of credit card debt. And so she got interested in that. Left Demos to attend law school, serve as a deputy policy director for the John Edwards 2008 presidential campaign. Right. Then she returned to Demos in 2009, and she co-chaired a task force with the Americans for Financial Reform, and that was largely having to do with the Depression or the recession at the time. She chaired a task force with Americans for Financial Reform, which helped develop the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act in 2009. So she's writing laws. She became the president of Demos in 2014. And then in early 2018, she stepped down as president, but she remained a distinguished senior fellow at that location. And then in 2009, she became the chair of the board of directors of Color of Change. Right. So she's been on, she had a televised phone conversation with a man named Gary on C-SPAN, who admitted racial prejudice in 2016. That's when that happened. And he said something like, I'm a white male and I'm prejudiced. The reason it is something I wasn't taught, but it's kind of something that I learned. That was widely covered by the news media at that time. And she gave him some advice, which he eventually admitted he took to heart, and his views changed. So then they got her involved in like kind of political debate. In 2019, she presented a TED Talk entitled "Racism Has a Cost for Everyone." 2021, she was interviewed by Christine Amanpour on CNN for something that's called "Why Racism Hurts Everyone, Regardless of Race," and she's appeared on episodes of Pod Save America, and looks like Ari Shapiro has had her on too about the student debt crisis. So she's interested in economy, money, financial information, writing laws, and civil rights. So there's a lot going on with her. I love her. You can find her at heathermcgee.com. That's Heather McGee. That's MCGHEE.com.
Okay.
Instagram at Heather McGee. Facebook at Heather C. McGee, and then an X at HMCGHEE. That's how to find her. And that's Heather McGee. But I don't know. I'm one of those people who, when somebody writes a book, I love to listen to them talk. So I always listen to audiobooks of people who write like that. So
yes.
Yeah, watching her in so many interviews and things like that, I just kind of like the way she talks. I absolutely love it. And so I didn't want to read her book. I wanted to hear her read her book. So there is an audiobook for the Some of Us if you get a chance. She does a pretty good job with that, right? The other person for now, and then I'll be done, even though it's like it's been 2 hours. Oh yeah. All right. It's already 11, so we may need to skip the other one. I'll just give you a name, Kimberly Renee. Kimberly Renee. She's an African American historian, and she is amazing. And she's constantly writing stuff. She's got a Substack called the Kimmyverse. She's got a website called KimberlyRenee.com. She's got an Instagram and Threads at It's Kimberly Renee. And I'm just going to give you that name, and you can go check her out. But if you ever want to, she's the type that's like, we can cover her next week, but you don't have to. That's just another now name for you. To go look up, and if you get a chance to, if you're looking for African American history, she's just an amazing storyteller. So there you go. All right, Kenny, I'm so sorry.
Hey,
I know you got Today in History going on, so
I got two. So,
good.
Let's see. Happy birthday. Today, February 7th. 1935, Parker Brothers began selling a board game centered on buying and selling property.
This wouldn't be the landlord's game, would it?
with the local names based on the names of streets in Atlantic City, New Jersey, it will become one of history's best-selling board games. Monopoly.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Monopoly. Happy birthday.
There's like 14 versions of that now too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Monopoly everything.
I know. I call it the landlord's game because that's what it was before whoever called it Monopoly stole it from the woman who created it.
Yes, thieves. February 7th, 1964, British rock and rollers, the Beatles, land in New York's Kennedy Airport, where fans welcome the quartet with a high-pitched hysteria that will become a hallmark of the British invasion.
Crazy. People passing out and everything. Mania.
It's like a Michael Jackson concert.
You know, I was wondering what the title of today's show was about. I did not know, but that makes sense. I did not realize today was that day.
Yeah. And
those are the two?
Yeah, those are the two. Yep, those are the two. That's today.
Well, how do we want to do this, Ron? Do we want to wrap it up, or do I have to?
Oh, we got one more. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. We're doing a deep dive on Billie Holiday.
I love Billie
other Black woman in history, but related to music. Yeah. So there was always a struggle for Billie. She had a rough life. She was born Eleanora Fagan on April 17th, 1915, to an unwed teenage couple, Sarah Julia Fagan and Clarence Holliday. Right? Billie's mother was kicked out of her house when she was pregnant. Her mother arranged for her older married half-sister, Eva Miller, to take care of her in Baltimore. Right? Childhood was very difficult for her. She dealt with a lot of abuse from her cousin and suffered from being in other people's care. She had a very... Billie Holiday is one of those people that had so much pain that when she sang, you could hear it. And so things got worse as she grew up, and she was brought into juvenile court by age 9. Okay, she's still not 10 yet. This is a story that I heard at one point, and I was like, I couldn't believe this happened to her. And if I were her, I'm not sure that I would not be on drugs myself after hearing this story. She was sent to a Catholic reform school where they locked her in a room to punish her with a dead girl overnight. They just locked her in a room with a dead person to punish her. I don't know what they thought she did, but I could not believe that story when I heard it. And she had nightmares about that the rest of her life. I can't say that I would never be able to deal with that as a kid. Yeah. I don't know if she was 9 or 10, but that's young. So I'm just saying.
You deal with it now, huh?
Right. Like, that's crazy. 10 years old. I don't know what the situation was. Something happened where the girl was, I can't remember. They were very abusive to these girls in this school. I can't remember what happened, but this girl died and they didn't know what to do with her. So they shoved her in a room to figure out what to do and left her there, and then threw Billie in there with her for whatever, to teach her a lesson about something. I don't know what it was, but that would probably cause me nightmares. I don't know. Yes, I wouldn't sleep for a couple of decades after that. She was then released to her mother, who had opened a restaurant at that point, and dropped out of school to begin working with her mother. I would have none of that. It's a joke. Gotta keep it light, people. But things did not get any easier. She was sexually assaulted. This is stuff, this is stuff most of us know. And after having to be protective and witness in a case against the guy, she began running errands for a brothel. Around this time is when she first heard the music of Bessie Smith and Louis Armstrong, and that's when her mother moved her to Harlem, right? New York City in 1928. She moved to the area the next year. So while living in Harlem boarding house at 14, she's not even 16 yet. We're still in her childhood. She did start to turn to sex work to earn money after several failed attempts at being a maid. By 15, she was arrested for prostitution, and the judge labeled her a girl of bad character. The victim. Think about, I don't know. Back then, they made very young girls out to be very older, and a lot older adults. And after being sentenced for 4 months of Welfare Island, now Roosevelt Island, she returned to Harlem, began using marijuana, alcohol, opium to have good times. Now, one of these days, go look up Roosevelt Island or Welfare Island, and you'll see what that nightmare was about. As she became engulfed in the Harlem music scene, her substance abuse increased. So I don't know that she had any choice but to go into drugs with everything that she went through. She began singing in Harlem nightclubs under the name Billie Dove. And that was an actress that there was an actress by the name of Billie Dove that she idolized, and that was why she did that. And then when she was 17, she sang in place of a singer, was Monette Moore at Covan's Morocco Club. That's producer John Hammond found her, and then talked her into recording some songs, right? So the second song they recorded, called Riffin' the Scotch, sold 5,000 copies. And her music career started taking off. And Hammond compared her to Louis Armstrong. She signed with Hammond's record label, Brunswick, in 1935. And then around that time is where she heard Strange Fruit, because she sang Strange Fruit. If nobody knows what that is, it is a song by Abel Meeropol, and it's based on his poem about lynching. But she sang it, and she made it famous, but there were a lot of clubs that refused to let her perform it. So she was known for singing it right before she left, and she did it. She usually did it without telling people, and then eventually it became something that she was known for. But at first, it was not something they liked. She began working with more musicians, getting into romantic relationships with some of them. Lester Young, her relationship with Lester Young, that's a friend of hers, actually. They played together as well, lived together for a little while. And Young gave her the nickname Lady Day, while she called him Prez. Again, this is a platonic relationship and roommate that she had. Some of the relationships helped her substance abuse problem dig deeper and deeper, till a wartime shortage of opium turned her onto heroin. and her heroin use became a defining aspect of her public image, influencing both the narrative about her and how audiences and critics saw her. She was successful with her music, but less with her love life. She went through a few marriages, including Jimmy Monroe, the trombonist, in 1941, Joe Guy in 1951, and Louis McKay in 1957. That was her last husband. And she died in July 17, 1959, of a heroin overdose, famously. And everybody knows that story.
Yeesh.
But yeah,
Lady,
I don't know where
lady
I
sings
heard
the
about
blues.
her childhood, but that I knew she went through stuff as a teen, but I had not heard about her early childhood, and that freaked me out, man. That's all I can say. So, and she never went. She was 44 when she died. I mean, she was really young. You know,
Wow.
like what kind of life would she have had if she had not gone that direction?
Mm.
But also, we got some really good suffrage music from her. And anyway, she inspired a generation. That's Billie Holiday.
Yeah. Lady sings the blues.
Yeah. And that wraps us up for today. Like we're done. Like what time is it? Oh, we're 10 minutes past. That's not bad.
Yeah. Not bad.
So it's
not bad at all.
It's we're wrapping up Black Women in History. Oh, we're doing that. What's this?
Yes.
This is a segment I don't know anything about, so I'll just sit back.
Surprise. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, hey, that's a picture there. Okay, girl.
Did somebody?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, girl. Okay. Oh,
boy.
Lord have mercy. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead, girl. Do your thing. Okay, all
Listen,
right.
I thought I was Spinderella. Don't mess with me. I thought I was Spinderella. I wanted to be Deidre.
Spinderella cut it up one time. Yeah. All right. I was at a get together last weekend, right? And there was a DJ, and he was spinning records, right? And it's amazing how if you hear one lyric of a song, it brings you back and you know the song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna test you a little bit. I got a ton of them, but I'll give you 4. I'll give you 4. I'll say the lyric and you give me the song. Okay? All right. All right. Let's go. Okay, just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Don't Stop Believing, Journey, 1982.
Woo! Go ahead. Hey,
that's not a hard one. Come on now.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Too easy.
Okay. Too easy. Okay. Let's go with is this real life or is it just fantasy?
Ooh. I don't know that particular line. I don't think. Or maybe I just didn't know the words for whatever that is.
That would be Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, you said, is this real life?
Yeah. Is this the real life?
I'm literal, so here we go. This is how come I didn't know it. It's called Is This the Real Life? There's a the missing in there.
Oh, okay. Is this all just right.
Fantasy? Caught in the landslide. No escape from reality.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah. Like the segment says, the TJ, she gets down. Okay. All right.
Queen, 1979.
Ooh,
I think.
Okay. All right.
1978. 1978 or 77. I don't know. The late 70s.
Well, okay. All right. Well, he told me.
Man, I need some coffee. Coffee would kick in.
Okay, I got one for you. We're halfway there. Sorry. Whoa. We're halfway there.
Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, 1980. Ooh. 4?
Oh my gosh, she's good. Oh my gosh, she is good.
I think that's 1984. Slippery When Wet? Really? Okay.
Yep, you are correct.
I thought that was on an album before. I'm thinking of Runaway, I guess. Okay.
Okay, one more. Good times never seem so good.
If you ever went to a baseball game at Fenway, you've heard this one.
Yes.
Right? So that's Sweet Caroline.
Yes, it would. Yes,
And
it
that's
that
Neil
is.
Diamond. And when
Yes.
did that come out? In the 70s at some point. I don't know.
Yep.
But
Seven.
we
You're
Sweet
correct.
Song. What is Sweet
You
Song?
are you are correct.
Ron. Sweet
Wow.
Caroline.
Woo.
So good. So good. So good. Yeah. I actually as a DJ had to
Mhm.
had to be tortured for about 20 years with that song.
Is it
Especially
Twitch?
working cuz of working around here. Like too
Mhm.
many people are Boston Red Sox fans, so I can't. If you go to play that song, you're gonna hear people screaming all through it, singing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
with their drinks up in the air, spilling drinks, breaking
Spill a drink.
glasses, and all that stuff.
Drinking glasses. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
it's a law. I don't know, but it's the seventh inning stretch, people. If you ever go up to Fenway Park, the seventh
Yep.
inning stretch is the Sweet Caroline screaming and yelling fest that goes on.
Yep. True
Yeah.
story. Wow. She went 4-0. Ron. Oh,
I thought these
okay.
were
All
gonna be
right.
these were not as hard as I expected. Is there more?
Oh, there's more.
Oh boy.
I
Okay.
give you one more. I'll give you one
Okay.
more.
Watch me not get this one now.
Mm, no, that was too easy. Okay. If you want to be my lover, you got to be.
Is this if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends?
Oh
Or
man. Yep. Yep.
is that if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends? Something, 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 something. Friendship never ends. I can't. I'm not thinking about it right now. That would have been God, 1990. Oh, I can't remember now. I think it's 1996 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Would
tell
that be
you what I want. What I really, really want.
would that be Spice Girls? Yes, Spice Girls.
Yeah,
See,
Spice Girls.
good. You're good. See, you're good. See, I can't
Yeah, it has
stump
to
you.
be harder for me.
Yeah.
But that's all
Okay,
stuff
guys.
I played all the time. So, I did. I actually played all of that stuff all the time. I still do sometimes.
Get the crowd rocking. Get the crowd
Yeah.
rocking.
This is if you ever go to a wedding, like half that stuff is what you're gonna hear.
Yeah, true.
It's all wedding
True.
music.
True.
It is.
True. Okay. All right. I got to come up with something harder then. Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll throw a big going on daily party and I'll DJ for you.
That's what I'm talking about. Woohoo!
You gotta come
Let's
up
get
here
it.
though.
Let's
I
get
don't know
it.
why I thought you were in Boston. So instead of coming down here, you need to come up here.
Hey, I live down the street. It only takes me 45 minutes. Well, it usually takes me 45 minutes to get to Ron, but no,
Really?
now he live in
Yeah, I know.
middle of nowhere. Middle of nowhere.
If
I'm right
you
on
so
the.
yeah, I'm like more like in the middle of the state, but Ron's all the way out to the water.
Yeah, he all the way up there. I
Yep.
live on the border of Rhode Island and Connecticut.
So yeah, you're like right next to Westerly. So you're
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh, you live near Taylor Swift over there?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
93 or 91 or which one? What do you take?
95.
You stay so 95 goes right by you then?
Yep.
Right. 93 and 91 are like further down, I guess, right?
Yeah,
I think.
further down. Yeah.
Ron lives in famous early days of battle in Rhode Island.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say I went to a party in Connecticut and I saw a DJ spin and I asked him if he knew you and because that's what I always hear and he knew who you were. And then I thought you were gonna tell me you ran into DJ Buck somewhere. I thought you were gonna tell me that. But yeah. Rhode Island history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. I'm
fun.
so glad I did not screw any of that up, really, except for the second one.
Yeah. Me too.
I know Middletown should be in the middle, but it isn't. But like East Providence and South Providence and West Providence is Providence. There's North, there's East, there's South, and then just Providence. And we're like always like, why isn't this West Providence? Shouldn't this be West Providence? But it's not.
It's not
A bunch of really weird names in history around here.
very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
All right, so you're back tomorrow with Ron, and you guys are
Yes.
starting Love Week. You remember that guy that used to do he used to do the voice work for the Love Boat? The Love Boat. That's what I thought of. Love Week. I forget that guy's name. I actually used to know that guy's name because he lived in Rhode Island, or he lived in this area. The guy that did all those voice work for ABC TV. But anyway, the Love Week.
Okay. Yep.
You guys
Love
are
Week.
kicking it off.
I don't know about that. But yeah, Love Week.
Well, I don't know about that either, but I'm sure you guys will make it work. Can you guys get a bromance going? Like a bromance happening for Love Week?
It's a good idea. It's a
You know?
good idea. It's a real good idea. Real good idea.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We are. Let's see what else is happening. Are we gonna? Do we have a list of who's coming up? I guess tomorrow's good enough, right? And then we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, it's Valentine's week. You guys are gonna be talking about love like on Super Bowl day. That's so confusing.
Sad.
I guess you just have to love football tomorrow.
I guess so.
Tie it all together.
Somehow, some way.
But this has been fun. Kenny and I did a show. How did we do, Ron? We doing all right? This sounds like this looks like a good team. We'll maybe get together another time.
Yes, I hope so.
You know?
I hope so.
And
I hope so.
We're gonna let you go. Enjoy your Saturday. If you're in New England, you have shoveling to do, so you got to get outside right now.
Oh, don't remind me. Yep.
I know. Highest live viewers in Saturday history. Really? They must be here for you, Kenny. People love you, Kenny.
They love you.
No, they don't. I haven't even been around that long.
Hey, the only people that love me are at my school, and them kids are crazy doing the conga line. Conga.
Wait, why do you have kids at school doing a conga line? That's great. That's great. What? Tell me all about that. No, you don't have to tell me right now.
I work for the school district, so
yeah.
I'm in the schools like every day, and then they're just crazy. These kids are crazy. Where the heck they get a conga line from? There's 12 of them just going down the hall. Conga.
That's awesome.
What the hell? And they yell, Mr. Kendall, you know what today is? I was like, today's Wednesday, Thursday? No, it's Taco Tuesday. Hey, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. That is the thing.
What in the world? What in the world? And they're dancing, and I'm like, what in the world?
That's the thing. Taco Tuesday.
And they're dancing in the hallway.
Get crazy with it. Like, you got to do a little Buster Poindexter. Feeling hot.
Feeling hot. I used to love that video.
Shout out to the kids, Kenny.
Shout out to the kids. Shout out to the kids. All right.
I'll let you go. But we will see you tomorrow. And
yep.
Listen, all I can say is we got to go on daily. Bye-bye.
Bye.